Alright guys, welcome to another Summoners War Chronicles video. In this video, we're going to talk about the new content that just dropped into Chronicles today, which is Seal. So I'm going to let you know everything you need to know about the content, what monsters to bring, what things you should expect. Everything will be right here in this video to make your lives a lot easier, because a lot of you guys do not read previews. But yeah, that's why I'm here, to help you guys out. So if you guys do enjoy this video and you guys enjoy me giving you guys help content, please make sure to like this video. Also share it to other people, as well as subscribe to the channel, so that way I can continue, or you guys can know about when I make more Chronicles videos, because I've been busting out a lot of Chronicle videos, doing whatever I can to help you guys out as far as like what to do for content and just to make your lives a lot easier, because again, none of y'all read the notes. So it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating, especially when new content comes out. You guys just bum rush into new content, but nobody like even looks to see like what the thing, like what to do or what to build. But anyways, that's why I'm here. That's why this video is here, to make your lives a lot easier. So again, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to please like the video. It's very, very important, so that way people can see this video, and that way we can have less people coming in with Theomars, because that's been a treat. All right, so here we go. Seal, what you need to know. All right, so you guys didn't know, you go to party dungeon right here, far right here is Seal. This dungeon is very tricky, because I think people have to get into the mindset of co-op. You have to get into the mindset of helping each other, because we don't care about your contribution. We don't care what fancy monsters you're bringing in. All we care is that you are able to do it. And this may be a little bit tricky for mobile players. I think this dungeon's probably a little tricky for mobile players. There's always gonna be that one mobile player's boy, I can do just fine. But it's gonna be a little tricky. So you have to get used to the movements. The dungeon does require you to move around a lot. That is why you'll need some particular monsters to help you out in the dungeon. And I'm gonna go through that here. So I will go through everything as far as T-comps, and then after this I will show you a clip of me completing the dungeon at 3 o'clock in the freaking morning, because I woke up early for this. So that way I can get this video out as soon as possible to help you guys out. Again, it's just to help everybody else, so that way we can progress through this content. We don't have to worry about too many people out here just bringing in random things that don't help the team out. People have to understand, like, this is co-op, this is cooperative. We need everybody doing their parts, so that we're able to do this dungeon, so that way we don't waste each other's time, and we can just get this out the way. So without further ado, I'm gonna get into the comps that are pretty important. I'll get into this afterwards. This is why you want to do multiple runs of this, by the way. Legends are nice. So let me get into what you need. So as you can see, there's 6 people that you need to bring in. You can recruit or you can invite. And a lot of you guys probably like, well, I ain't got no friends. This is why you guys start making friends in this game. It's really important. But either way, like I said, you can always recruit. Did I say incruit? Why did I say incruit? I don't know. You can recruit. Just wait around, get certain people. If you are the leader, I highly encourage you to kick people. I'm not joking. This sounds messed up, but if people come in with a comp that doesn't help the dungeon out, then kick them. Just kick them. People have to learn. People have to learn to build stuff for certain things. Again, this is why I'm making this video, so that way we're gonna go into the cheaper alternatives and the cheaper options for people to build. It's not gonna be too hard, nothing too crazy. This dungeon does not care about your damage, doesn't care about anything like that. All you have to do is make sure that you are putting dots on the boss, damage over time, and that you have your boots on, your blue suede shoes, because you're gonna have to do a lot of moving around and dodging abilities in this dungeon. So as far as team comps go, the first one that's really important is, I would say, either Kodamiya, Tion, or Lulu, a healer. For obvious reasons, you're gonna be taking damage probably, so you want to make sure that at all times you have a healer, that way you can get to full. Lulu's pretty good because he does heal block, so with Lulu you can cleanse the heal block. You don't have to worry about walking around with a heal block on. You can't do anything. So if you have a Lulu built, Lulu's perfect. Lulu's great. Tion's also good if you're a person that you feel like you're a derp a lot, so you want to revive your units. So Tion's great. I use Kodamiya. That's my burp. That's my boy. Everybody knows Kodamiya. I don't have Tion. I haven't summoned Tion at all because this game hates me. still. But overall, like I said, like you can just build, like I said, Kodamia, Tian, or Lulu. Both all are great. I would highly suggest Lulu for a lot of people, because Lulu's pretty good at a lot of content, so you don't have to worry too much when it comes to like building Lulu. But like I said, Konami, Tian, Lulu, all fine. Second would be Bernard. The reason why Bernard is pretty important is because the boss does a lot of attacks, and they're very quick. So this is why when you're doing the dungeon, you want to make sure that you are paying attention. You want to make sure that you are dodging every single ability, because he hits really hard. He hits very, very hard, and attacks are coming out left and right, and you want to make sure that you are moving. That's why I said bring out those blue suede shoes. You got to get your fancy feet on. Muhammad Ali, you got to move. So Bernard gives you the movement speed buff. Also, Remy is good too, which is the water hard. But both are fine. So I would say look into wherever you have probably the skill ups for. Like if you have a whole bunch of Bernard skill ups, do Bernard. If you have a bunch of hard skill ups, do Remy. But I think Bernard's just fine, because Bernard has a good uptime on his movement speed buff. The thing is, I will also say to a lot of people, if you're in a group and there are a lot of Bernards, I would say if there are probably 3. If there are 3, then you might want to switch out to but you might want to switch from Bernard to like maybe a support like Bastet, just to give everybody the attack buff. I said earlier that, you know, dots don't matter for the boss, but there are some things in the dungeon that you do have to kill in order to keep yourself alive, which I will get into. And you also see in the run after this, there's there are bombs that you can kill or destroy. Why does it kill? Like it's a person. You can destroy some bombs that self detonate. That way you can give yourself some room to like sit around and like, you know, stay safe. There's also like one part where you have to kill this device. Why do you say kill? You have to destroy this device, and when you destroy the device, it creates a protection field that you can all get into, and basically that will protect you from the boss AoE attack that'll wipe you. It'll 100% wipe you. Don't try to be a person that wants to tank out everything. You cannot tank everything. I'm not joking when I say this boss hurts. He hits a lot. So you want to make sure that you are moving around and doing everything you can to stay as safe as possible in this dungeon. So, like I said, if there are a lot of Bernards, then I would say, if anything, probably bring a Bastet, probably being something that can help as far as damage and your overall fine. Like bring a pretty good supportive unit. I think Bastet is totally fine as far as like trying to help keep teams alive. The shield's pretty great. Attack buff's pretty great for when you're trying to take out those devices in the dungeon. That'll help you out a lot. But Bernard, pretty key. Build a Bernard, build a Remy, build one or the other. Up to you as far as that. Now, this is where it comes to the key, because whenever I have conversations about this dungeon, everybody wants to go over the top as far as like building monsters for this. Your last unit has to be a damage over time unit. And for people that don't know, for people that want an explanation of damage over time, literally it's damage over time. The boss only takes damage from damage over time. So that's why you want to make sure you bring in something that contributes to the team. Now, I suggest that people build two. Mainly because if you're in a group and there is a plethora of like burns, then you might want to bring something else, because the more damage over time you can stack on the boss, the easier it will be, because you can kill him faster. You're going to be in this dungeon for a good while, because again, he only takes damage from dots. So it's very important that you want to get out this dungeon as fast as possible, that you bring a wide variety of damage over time. And I'm going to start that with Chamomere. A Chamomere is triple S tier for this dungeon. The reason why is because not only does he apply electric shock, but he also extends every single dot on his S1. Now, this is why you'll probably go into a dungeon, you'll see a lot of people bringing a Chamomere, because a Chamomere is really, really good for this dungeon. If there are like 2 or 3 Chamomeres, probably don't bring a Chamomere, switch to something else, because again, you want to stack as many dots as possible. But a Chamomere is really, really great. Keep a note of this, because I really feel like Comtois when it comes to Chronicles, they give us certain nat 5s for a particular reason. Besides your soon, I don't know why they give it your soon, but they give us a nat 5 for a reason. So whenever they give you like a nat 5, like a Camomile for free, there's probably a reason why. And I'm pretty sure they gave us Camomile for free for this dungeon, so that way we have an option, we have a really good unit for this, and that way we don't get here and be like, oh, what do I do? Oh, I wish I had a Camomile. It's like everybody got one. So if you see like 2 or 3 Camamoires, probably switch off to something else, and that way you don't have to worry about you know, like only like 2 debuffs, and it's like you're just in there forever because there's only like 2 debuffs if you stacked on the boss. So besides the Camomile, there's also Sarah, who I personally bring in. Sarah's really good. Sarah's really, really good because Sarah does Frostbite. Also, to know for these units are pretty much going to be built tank. So my Sarah is HP, accuracy, because I want to land a Frostbite. Yes, Frostbite does damage over time, in case you didn't know. So Sarah does Frostbite on S2, and then she also extends the Frostbite on her S3 if you crit. That's why she has really high crit. She's literally 0.1 off. So make sure that if you bring in a Sarah, that she has pretty high crit rate, so that way on this S3, you can extend the Frostbite, and that way you don't have to worry about anything. I personally highly suggest Sarah because when I did my runs earlier, I think I was the only person that brought in Frostbite ever. So I suggest people bring I would say, if anything, build a Frostbite unit because, again, a lot of people don't bring Frostbite. I don't know why. I don't think anybody thinks about it, but 1000% try to bring in a Frostbite unit. It'll help out a lot because that's the one debuff I think a lot of people just do not bring in. For the people that are like, well, Theomars does Frostbite. Theomars is trash for this because Theomars can not keep up the uptick of Frostbite. Sarah does it very, very well. Besides Sarah, as far as Frostbite units, there's also Yaku, and Yaku is the water imp. This one. It is this one? It's not this one. No, it's not this one. It's that's the water imp. I'm looking for the imp champion. Hold on. There we go. That's Yaku. There we go. Yaku right here. Yaku's pretty good too because he puts up Frostbite all the time. And again, you don't have to build these units on damage. You can build him on just like tank stats with high accuracy. You want to make sure that whoever is applying the debuffs has pretty high accuracy because you want to make sure that you're, again, keeping the uptick of whatever damage over time effect that you're adding to the boss. That's very important. You want to keep it up as much as possible. So as far as Frostbite goes, these are probably the 2 best options. There's probably going to be one person that's like, but Jug, what about Chandra? Chandra does Frostbite. Again, you don't want to use too much materials because you don't want to go broke try to build one unit for one particular dungeon. Maybe later on down the line, if you got material, you want to be fancy and he's already built, sure, go ahead. But right now, I'm pretty sure 99.9% of you guys are crying for gold or crying for materials. So go for whatever is cheaper and then just build a full tank. It's easy to get high power when the monster is like on HP because HP, you know, attributes a lot to power. Also, for the power trigger people don't know, just go in with your highest power. Please let people know in chat, hey, I'm switching when I get inside, so that way you keep your bonus. So just tell, hey, I'm using this, but when I get inside, I'm switching to whatever. And then the person who's running the raid can be like, okay, communication is very key. So make sure you tell the person like, hey, you know, I know this team ain't optimal, but I'm going in with this, so that way I can switch to whatever. And God be like, okay, cool. But that's why I say, if anything, like try to use like low cost effective units. Don't try to break your bank. Don't try to I'm giving you every single cheaper option, so that way I can save you guys a lot of stress about like, oh, I gotta build this nat 5 and I gotta use these Devilmon and whatever. No. I'm giving you everything you need to know. So besides that, the next one would be, who else? After that, then if you have either Sarah or Yaku, the next one will probably be Tatu. Tatu is great, but there's one thing you have to be mindful of when bringing Tatu. Tatu is great if you want a burn option. I know people are gonna say, but I got Smokey. Use Tatu. Tatu's a lot better and she's a lot cheaper. If you use Tatu, make sure you Soul Link her, because the thing about Tatu is, if you don't Soul Link her, she likes to derp and be a dummy, and ignite the bombs, ignite the burn, excuse me, before it hits 10. If you use Tatu Soul Link her, get the burn to 10 and then detonate it, and do that every single time. Tatu is great. She does really good burn stacks, and it's on a low cooldown, and you don't have to worry about too much, especially because you have a Kodamiya. You're gonna have a mana acceleration. That's gonna be great. So you can basically just stack this up, get the 10, ignite it, stack the 10, ignite it, stack the 10, ignite it. Tatu is great. Again, for any of these damage over time units, just tank stats with high accuracy. That's all you care about. The rune sets don't matter. Just look for tank stats and high accuracy. That's all you care about. I would say a minimum is probably like 70%. 70 to 75% is great. That's why I usually put an accuracy on slot 6, so that we don't have to worry about that. But again, just tank stats. I was using Tatu, but since I usually say I'm Orbia and I like to use the soul, I like to Soul Link Kodamiya, so that way I can keep on using Orbia's S2 and S3, and that applies burn pretty well too. So yeah, Tatu is really great because you'll see the burns stack to 10, and then you'll just stack it, ignite it, stack it, ignite it, and you call it a day. Really great. There's also another good option that people do not really see or look into. Is her name is literally Seal. She was literally named after this dungeon, or the dungeon was named after her. Seal is amazing. Seal is really great because her S3 applies bleed and poison, and bleed is probably next to frostbite as a debuff that you don't see a lot. So if I would suggest more people actually build Seal because of that, because I think poison is pretty common because, again, it's Orbia with Dark Stab can apply poison, but bleed is something that you don't see too often. So unless they have Cadiz
nuts,
unless they have Cadiz or anybody else that applies bleed. But I would suggest actually more people build probably Wind Harpoon and also Sarah or Yaku, because I think those are like debuffs you don't see too often and that people are building. So I would suggest, if you had two options, build like a burn, or build like a burn, and then build like an uncommon option, which is like, I would say Seal. Seal is like really great because she applies 2, and then you can just save your mana. You can Soul Link her and then just S3, 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 and then just stack the burn and the bleed. And that way, the poison and the bleed, and you're overall fine. So I would say, if anything, people should probably build a Seal because she's really great. Most people probably aren't building Colleen, so you probably have Harpoon skill ups on the side. So I would suggest, highly suggest, building Harpoon, and it'll make your life a lot easier. Besides that, there isn't too much. Oh, there's one more. Actually, I almost forgot about it. There's also this guy, Dark Imp. Dark Imp's pretty good too, because you can he's very cheap. He's a 3-star, and you can just hit with S2, and he applies bleed. Something, again, that you don't see too often. So I would suggest people actually consider him as well, especially if you have a lot of like S3s on the side. If you have like a lot of imps on the side that you can use to like plus 15 them, go ahead and do it. He is really good, and all you gotta do is just hit this ability right here. Just S2, 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 and apply the bleed, and that's all you care about. Yeah, I would say those are like my higher suggest units. There obviously are going to be some people that want to build, again, they want to go ham and build the NAF5s, but I highly suggest not doing that unless you're using a NAF5 somewhere else, or somewhere else in any other content. Those are like the highest what I suggest. Korea has been using quite literally the ones I mentioned for months now, and you don't need too much past that. You don't have to be too fancy. You don't have to be bougie, and you don't have to be that one guy that's like, oh, I'm coming in with my skilled smoky, and like, you don't have to be all that. Like, just build something that contributes to the team and call it a day. Like I said, if just look at the team, look at what everybody has, and usually you're fine. Like, I was doing this for the most part. I was bringing in a Chamomile and Sarah because, again, most frostbite, and then Chamomile pretty good. But yeah, so again, it's cooperative. It's not about trying to be the best or trying to be the highest contribution. It's all about getting it done, so that way we're able to save time and get in and get out. Then as far as like The drops are RNG. I know people are gonna probably not like that, because after you beat the dungeon, it rolls a dice, and if you roll high, you get better gear. If it rolls low, your gear is pretty meh, or whatever the drop you get is pretty meh. But still can be pretty good. But overall, you still want to do it. It's weekly, it's 2 times a week. As far as refreshing, the refreshing cost is 750 crystals. That's rough. But I would say if you're like more of a free-to-play player, probably don't do it. If you're a whale, you're gonna do it regardless, anyways. But it's like it's hard to justify 750 for a refresh. I did it because I'm not a whale, but at least I buy packs here and there. But 750 for the refresh, it's harsh, but I'm pro and against it. I do think it's relatively expensive. 750 is very, very costly, especially for a drop that could be pretty meh. But you definitely want to make sure you're doing this every single week. You want to make sure link up with streamers. Like, I think we have streamers on every single server now that I can think of. Like Tayor, you got Fwa, you got Apps, you got Camilla, you got App, you got Aspire. If I can think of, I'm just kind of thinking of everything. I know Camilla, I know for Annabelle be me. So link up with other streamers if you wanna like get a group together. If you can't find a group, or you're just getting frustrated with the groups that you're probably getting, link up with a streamer so that way we can help make your lives a little bit easier. But for sure, this dungeon's pretty fun in my opinion. I like the concept of like it only takes damage from dots, and you gotta move around and all this other good stuff. It's a different pace compared to just like DPS dodge, DPS dodge. It's something different, which I do kind of respect. But yeah, that's all the information I can give to you. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and leave it down in the comment section. I will answer every question down there, and I will leave you with basically me doing a run of the dungeon. So again, you can look and see what to expect and what to look out for. But yeah, if you like this video and you like information, please go ahead and give me a like. I really appreciate it. And again, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Let me switch it to top. Pretty sure top will be probably a little bit better, so my camera doesn't keep falling down. Like that. Shouldn't have took that either. I feel like I should just wait, yeah. only problem is I feel like my monsters aren't following like they should. Oh shit, okay. That's what that does. Okay. Okay, avoid that. I mean, so far this is pretty interesting. Oh, get the fuck out the way, get the fuck out the way. I mean, so far this is pretty interesting. Not gonna lie. Okay, this is like one of those bosses that it's just like, you gotta be moving. You gotta be like really moving. Yo, what's up, Aspire? Thanks for the host, I appreciate it. Oh, shit. Yeah, this is one of those bosses where you really gotta keep moving. Good luck. Thanks, I appreciate it. That was kind of close, not gonna lie. Okay. Awkward. Bruh. die already. Okay, this boss is kind of weird. But it's just, I feel like this boss is just, it's a lot of shit. Lucky you got one. Wait, what's this? Oh, okay, it's crafting material, got a box, and then wing pieces. What the heck? What? Oh, like 2-star? That's kind of. Oh, the dice roll, I got a 1. Okay, so you want a good dice. Oh, okay. GZ, thank you. Yeah, I'm kind of understanding it now. Like, this is one of those things where it's just like you have to like, it's a lot of dodging. You gotta really be on it when it comes to the dodging.